Graphic design has been a professional term since 1922 and was used to describe a new type of art. So what is the aim of graphic design? Most would simply answer this as using the visual medium to communicate a message, brand, identity, or system to inform or influence the public. However, as design has matured and newer technologies influenced the space, it created a wider spectrum for the graphic design world, while also opening the medium to additional design movements and ideas. Through this talk, I want to explore a 1990s graphical movement called speculative design. I will consider its strange yet significant place in graphic design and how this medium has altered my design thinking. Speculative design is unlike most graphical movements. The term was coined in the 1990s by Anthony Dunn and Fiona Raby, with them describing it as a very different way of thinking about reality or the world. So what defines speculative design? Speculative design, unlike traditional design, isn't bothered about designing for the present or designing a product for instant use. Instead, it is design that questions concepts, new technologies, or what-ifs for the future, leading speculative design down a more abstract view. It centers more on sparking discussion rather than pushing a given message or agenda, challenging the status quo of design as more than a commercialized medium, but into a tool to help reflect and question current technology, ideas, and design to create innovation for the future. This general idea of using design as a medium to explore abstract questions and push humanity's thinking captivated me and made me think back to my Intel magazine project. In this, I created a publication showing the effects that AI was having on the world of art, as well as teaching readers how these softwares work. While I explored the topic of AI, humanity and I don't truly understand the implications or any deeper thought regarding the topic. This new technology has become a widespread issue and controversy within design spaces, but I wanted to approach this through a speculative design lens, to see if I could get answers about a topic that confuses me through using this design medium. But how was I going to do this? With speculative design, the outcome is always a futuristic interpretation, due to this design medium being used to understand technology or ideas of the future. However, there's usually four main methods to approach speculative interpretation, these being scenario briefing, artifact creation, storytelling, and linking to outer knowledge. Being able to create a scenario brief in which a speculative project fits is critical for understanding why a project has merit or why the questions you are asking are important or impactful to the future. Artifact creation is also important as it provides a tangible representation of abstract ideas and allows for a provocative way to start discussion. Storytelling is needed as ongoing narrative and ideas allows for speculative projects to be more digestible to the general public, starting conversations and allowing for further questioning to adapt its own design forms without abandoning your main narrative. And linking speculative work to other academic fields allows for a jump-off point for speculative design and gives an audience a basis your project is working off of. For my speculative project, I will need to use these methodologies to create a set of design work which captures deeper thought about AI, with questions we don't understand fully yet, while being able to link my work or artifacts to the idea of an overarching narrative. Fortunately, the topic of AI already has heavy linkage to maths and science, giving my project an outside academic link to use as a fundamental approach to the topic. But what is my project exactly? My project is an expansion and reinvention of my previous project, Intel Magazine. Instead of being a standalone magazine, this project takes the Intel branding and revives it into a speculative design collective. Intel will be a brand and identity project, which asks the question, what is AI identity, what is AI branding, along with other accompanying questions. This project, which will be known as the Intel Collection, plays with the scenario of a futuristic brand exploring and creating art from the guide of understanding digital intelligence, with graphical artifacts exploring a given question surrounding the overall narrative of AI and the alien nature it has to our natural understanding. Linkage to science, maths, and programming is central here, as I aim to create a new branding and identity for this project meaning I need to forego any sci-fi or pre-established futurism philosophy to create a more abstract and inhuman depiction of this technology. To start this project, I asked, how do you brand AI? This was important as I wanted the Intel branding to interlink all the projects to one another, allowing for one expansive, speculative project. For this rebrand, I researched into generative designs like Sagmeister with his Casa de Musica branding, and Patrick Humbener with his data designs. I went in the direction of generative branding as it allows the Intel branding to transform and adapt into unique designs while still being a coherent brand. The branding also needs to stay within the characteristics of AI, these being fluid, abstract, calculated, and sporadic. The final design I landed on for the branding was a 3D sphere that was set to a randomized noise level, creating abstract, evolving, and wavy designs which I believe capture the ever-changing and abstract concept of AI. This rebrand was a critical step as it sets a design precedent for the other projects within the collection. I believe the synergy and overall vibe will help sell the overall narrative of my speculative work while still allowing each artifact to be its own unique conversation. The next question I asked was, what is AI identity? AI doesn't have the same type of identity as natural beings, as AI is mostly an algorithm, so AI programs are hard to naturally interpolate. However, we know AI looks at patterns and data, layers and merges imagery, and has elements of randomness in its execution. My original inspiration for this project was an AI portrait experiment done by Michael Hess, in which the AI created these strange uncanny valley looking images, incorporating human features, showing AI sees itself as kind of human. For the art book, I ran with this concept, using traditional designs and arts to create abstract, sporadic, and weird looking work which takes how AI works and abstracting it further. The art book aims to explore my interpretations of AI identity, but to also spark a conversation on how we identify the unidentifiable. The next question I wanted to explore was, what is our future? What is a utopia or dystopia? Which I did through a short zine. The zine was inspired by The Economist magazine, which showcases AI and CCTV photography to leave up to interpretation. I wanted to do the same, but with illustrated realities of the ideas of a utopia and dystopia, playing with the cliches of these concepts to allow people to interpret in their own way. The final project within this collection was a motion graphic series which asked the question, how do we represent the changing nature of AI? This series of motion graphics serves two purposes: to advertise the Intel collection through vague and intriguing videos, confusing an audience and sparking discussion on what the videos represent, and to further the ideas of the generative branding, pushing the depiction of AI as a fluid, adaptive, and alien concept. Through this exploration of speculative design and the abstract world of AI, I believe I've been able to create a body of work which explores well the questions asked and gives a general depiction of the future with AI design and understanding. Through using the guide of speculative design, the work produced has been able to challenge my design process, making me think in a more abstract way, being happy with work which is imperfect, and pushing my design technique into a wider variety of design mediums. Overall, I would state that speculative design is a terrible medium to create consumable, mainstream, traditional design, but a necessary medium to truly challenge designers and creatives into creating work which is open-ended. It allows for true innovation and raw creation through questioning the now to just maybe understand tomorrow.